location. Logan Bloomquist is our guest here on the Coaches Show, and you and I were talking. You're from Pleasant Hills, Missouri. Just exactly where are we talking about Pleasant Hills?
Yeah, so Pleasant Hills around Belton, Lee Summit. It's about 40 minutes away from Kansas City, Missouri. Not the Kansas side because Missouri's a little bit better. So it's about 40 minutes away, 15 minutes away from Blue Springs. Common schools, Grandview, Belton.
Okay.
We're just right there in the bunch.
So in high school, being so close to Kansas City, I'm guessing you're a Chiefs fan and a Royals fan?
Oh, yeah. Chiefs all the way. Never been a big baseball fan, but Royals is the team that I'll root for.
Okay, so Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback, the MVP of the league. He's a Texas Tech guy. Does that mean you're rooting for Texas Tech tonight in the championship game?
I probably won't even be watching it. But, yeah, I mean, Patrick Mahomes came in, and he's probably the best quarterback that's ever come through Kansas City.
Joe Montana came through Kansas City.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I think just like from what I've seen, Mahomes is going to just do a really good thing for the Chiefs in his upcoming years, starting that young and just being so successful. And his arm is just ridiculous. So I think he's just going to be something to watch.
He's fun to watch. And it had to be painful, though, to see Dee Ford line up off sides in that AFC Championship game. He lines up on sides. Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Little things like that can just ruin it. So.
All right, let's talk about what it was like at Pleasant Hill High School. How big of a high school was that?
I would say it's probably average in Missouri. My graduating class was probably 120, 125.
Okay.
Yeah, it was probably average, I'd say.
Now your junior season, I thought this was interesting. Won the state championship in the discus, and you were runner-up in the shot put. And then as a senior, it was exactly the opposite. You won the state title in the shot put and second in the discus. So you've got multiple state championships, but in multiple years in different throws.
Yes. I would say junior year was definitely a leap in the discus for me. The shot was still – I was throwing around 54 feet was what I ended up throwing at the championship. And what it took to win my senior year was 58 feet. So, like, just the differences in the distances of the throws that year. Winning discus, I think I won with 186 or 179.9 won state junior year in discus. It took 186 to win senior year, and I threw 182.10. And I have just like we had a rain delay, and it actually made the meet. So we had 3 throws, and then finals is 3 more throws.
Okay.
When we threw discus my senior year, we got 3 throws in, and then we had a lightning delay, and we didn't throw discus until the next day. So I had the second best mark then too. Came back through 182.10, moved to second place, and I just couldn't put one together again. So.
Well, you said, I should have won it both years, both events.
Yeah, I just felt like towards the end of my years as a senior, I just felt like I was really reaching a good point in my career, and I was expected to throw a lot farther than I was wanting to. Just couldn't put one together. That meet, I had better PRs, and I just felt like I probably should have won it. I had a better average, but that's probably just a little bit of pride, honestly. But it is what it is. I've grown a lot grown through that, coming to college, and just like you're not the big fish anymore. It's a little humbling experience, but we all have that thing that we wish we could go back and do something better, but that's just how it took place. So.
Still 2 state championships in high school. And you get to college, we were talking with Coach Krumpecker, there was no hammer throw in high school. Was it intimidating at all, looking at the hammer or knowing that here we go, I'm gonna pick up a hammer and see if I can compete in this category?
Yeah, so my high school coach was an excellent coach. He was #1 in the nation in the hammer in 1989, I believe, and was #1 also in the weight. It's 66 feet in 1991, I believe. So he was like a really good coach overall, taught me almost everything I know about track and field in high school.
So you had already thrown the hammer then, if he was a hammer guy.
He was a hammer guy, but he was leery about teaching us the hammer. I got 2 weeks with him after I graduated. but we stay in touch, and he's just been encouraging me. And he told me, I remember like my sophomore year, he said, "You're a Division I hammer thrower waiting to happen," and he said, he said, "You're a D2, maybe a D3 shot putter and discus thrower," and here I am.
So when you win every title that you win in shot put and discus, do you send him a text message?
I sent him a little update. I think he was just playing with me. But he's right. Like, hammer throwing is my event, and Coach Eric also believes that, and I believe that to the core now. And I'm just going to be as successful as I can be. I'm going to work as hard as I can, give the glory to God, and just be thankful that I'm here. So,
how tough is it to focus in on 3 different events? Because I mean, you're using different techniques in every event, right?
Yeah. It's I would say discus and shot are the most similar, but there's still different positions that you have to get in. Shot puts being a 7-foot circle, and then the discus, which is 8. So your body, like where you're spreading out, where you're bringing your body into, is just critical. And I also throw the javelin, not something we take too seriously. I throw it about maybe once a week, but just trying to get a little more points for the conference meet. But hammer is unlike anything. Like you said, I didn't throw it at all in high school. So coming in and just taking a whirl with it, like I came in not sure how it was going to feel. I actually bought a hammer before I came, and I started doing spins with it, and wow, we've come a long ways. It's not something you pick up and you're good at after one practice. It's like he was saying, people overseas start at like 10, 12. What I'd give to go back and be able to do that, because it's hard. You're 18 years old, and you're trying to learn something totally new. The muscle memory's not there. We're at a crazy disadvantage because of that, but it just makes me want to work even harder.
So is this the first time at the collegiate level that you've won all 3 events at a meet?
Yes, this is the first time, yeah.
How'd that feel?
I didn't throw as far as I was wanting to, but to come away with the win, that was cool. It was unusual, but good competition. Steve was basically, we were the higher ups at that meet, so it's always fun just to compete with my teammate and just push each other to be the best we can.
Is it bragging rights, and does someone have to buy dinner?
No, it's not.
No bragging rights whatsoever?
No, I try not to. Yeah.
Now, as far as the team, the events at Joey Haynes Invitational, how tough was that trying to go through sideways rainstorms last week?
Yeah, that was by far probably the worst conditions I've ever thrown in. It was felt like 30 degrees. The wind was blowing like 25 miles an hour. Rain was coming at us. Circles had mud in them. They were slick. Just trying to drive out of the back. One of the most critical parts of throwing shot put or discus is basically eliminated. You're basically throwing, once you get to the middle of the circle, how much can you work your hips from there, because you can't do anything out of the back.
So you're a big, strong guy. Did you play football?
I did play football 4 years.
O-line and D-line, or
yep.
were you a linebacker?
I played linebacker, O-line, D-line. I was a kicker. I played about every position except for running back and fullback, which I wanted to do, but coaches, I don't know. I was the guy they needed for the O-line. We didn't have the right people, I guess.
Did you get recruited by any schools for football?
Yeah, I had a few. I just didn't really, if I didn't recognize the school, I basically threw it away, and I knew at that point I was not going to do football my senior year. I was just going to focus on track, but my high school coach said, you know what, you've done it 3 years, the team needs you. So I
talked you into it.
Did it. Yeah, and but yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right, you guys are headed to Ole Miss. Have you been down there before?
Yes, we went last year. One of the greatest facilities. The hammer cage has got unique nets on both sides. It's unlike anything you've ever seen. One of my favorite places to throw at.
It'll be Oxford, Mississippi this weekend, and we wish you the best of luck. Thanks so much for what'd you order off the menu?
I got the Big Nasty. It's a big burger. It's got pulled pork, onion rings on it. Excellent. So I got to go after I'm done. I'm going to go finish it.
I was going to say we'll let you go. See if you can knock it all down. It's not the smallest burger on the menu. That's for sure.
No, it's much bigger than I thought. So,
yeah, it's a big boy. Thank you so much for your time, and best of luck the rest of the season.
Appreciate you.
Logan Bloomquist joining us here on the Coaches Show. We're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, we will talk it over with Steven Zagurski Logan's teammate and fellow thrower at Southeast Missouri State. One final timeout coaches show from Wings on SEMO ESPN.
This week's River Radio Deals half-price deal of the week. Terrific barbecue is what we've got for you from Smokehouse 61 in Cape Girardeau. They also have deli subs, fresh delicious salads, savory soups, $20 certificate to Smokehouse 61 for half price, $10 certificates on sale this Thursday morning, 10 a.m. online at riverradiodeals.com. That's riverradiodeals.com.
Has Viagra or similar products let you down? Well, now there's new hope for men who suffer from erectile dysfunction. If you want proven results, then Missouri Men's Health has the answer.
At Missouri Men's Health, I met with a specialist who understood what I was going through.
Regardless of your age or medical condition, Missouri Men's Health can safely restore your sexual potency even if other treatments have failed. Missouri Men's Health. There's a clinic right here in Cape. No need to travel. Find out more at MissouriMen'sHealth.com.
This is Mike Golick for the best in local sports talk and play-by-play. It's SEMO ESPN.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Welcome back. Final segment, final coaches show of 2018-19's academic year. And we will be back right before the first football game this fall for another edition of the Redhawks Coaches Show. Want to remind you, we did get this note. The SEMO softball doubleheader at UT Martin tomorrow has been postponed. They're going to move it to Wednesday. Apparently there is some inclement weather potentially in Martin, Tennessee. So that is going to be a Wednesday doubleheader. I want to pass that along to you. Redhawk baseball plays at St. Louis University tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Redhawk track and field headed to Oxford, Mississippi. Steven Zagurski, one of the throwers for the Redhawks. We just talked with Logan Bloomquist. He said that it's not a bragging rights situation. Is he being accurate there? Are there bragging rights at stake in some of these things?
No, not really. Just a little bit of friendly competition, I guess you could say. You know, we're roommates. We've been roommates for going on 2 years now, and the other thrower that's a senior, Andrew Ryan's also a roommate with us. So there's it's more of a community feel. And since track is certainly an individualistic sport, because you're competing against yourself a lot of the times, it's hard to do that big bragging rights thing with each other.
Gotcha. But still part of a team, but individually you're out there competing. You are an environmental science major at Southeast Missouri State. What is that?
So environmental science at Southeast has 5 different sections. Mine specifically is soil science and mapping. All my teammates kind of make fun of me. They say I like to play in the dirt and the rocks. So it's, a very multi-dimensional major. A lot of chemistry, biology, geology, geoscience, soils, just kind of all over the place. And I just like being outdoors. I was always growing up outdoors, doing stuff outdoors, being a sportsman. So it all kind of fell into place when I came here.
Hunting and fishing, is that something you take a part in?
Absolutely. Big duck hunter back in Nebraska where I'm from, and we have been fishing on and off since I've been a little kid up in North and South Dakota and Minnesota. So
now it says it looks like it's pronounced papillion. Is that
yes,
is that
sir.
correct? Because there is a movie that Steve McQueen famously made back late 60s, I think, called Papillon, spelled very similar, but this is Papillion, Nebraska. Where is Papillion?
Papillion is smallish suburb, I guess, by Missouri standards, just outside Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay.
I think it's about 25,000 people now. So I actually grew up in a small town right outside of it called Springfield, 1,500 people. So,
you were on the football team too, right?
Yes, I did play football.
Okay, now we talked with Logan just a few minutes ago. O-line, D-line, linebacker. Where did you play on the gridiron?
Predominantly O-line.
Okay.
Our team was big enough, by Missouri standards, we were Missouri Class 5A school, so we were big enough to where we did not have people play both sides of the ball.
I was going to say.
We had a full set offense and a full set defense.
It goes up to 6A for those who don't know in Missouri, and 5A you are big enough to where it's just one side, which is good. I mean, because oftentimes if you're playing a team where they've got a lot of guys going two ways, fatigue becomes a major factor.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, we were big enough to where we could minimize that. We had a few guys that played both sides of the ball. They're actually all Division I football players now, so it all worked out for them.
Did you have any desires to continue with football, or did you know, oh no, track and field's where it's at for me?
Yeah, I was like Logan. By my senior year, football, I was tired of getting my body beat up, and the amount of hours you put in for football just gets cumbersome at times. So I stuck with it my senior year for my teammates, but then by that point in time, I was all for track, 100%.
So you're competing at least with some of the bigger schools. If you're talking about 5A, I said Missouri. It's Nebraska. I don't know what it goes up to in Nebraska. Does it go past 6A?
No. So Nebraska is actually kind of different from Missouri and Illinois and Arkansas. Instead of doing A, AA, AAA, we actually do A, B, C, D.
Okay.
And to give you a difference in terms of population between Missouri and Nebraska, by Class D in Nebraska, you're playing 8-man football.
Okay.
So we have, I think there's 30 or 40 Class D schools. And there's actually, I think, about a dozen 6-man football teams in Nebraska.
6-man? I don't think I've heard of 6-man.
Well,
have you ever seen it?
No,
I have played.
I have not. The closest 8-man football team or 6-man football team to where I was from was still probably 2 hours west.
Okay.
So.
I actually saw ESPN did a special on 8-man football, the history of it, and and different teams in the Midwest that were playing it. Very, very interesting. You're a 2-time All-State shot putter, All-State discus as well, and you were academic All-State. How tough is that to compete academically like that and to put in the time, which you clearly have to do to be a star track and field All-State athlete?
It's no different from high school to college. I had to understand that if you put in work both in the classroom and, in this case, on the track and the circle, good things came of it. So my parents did a really good job growing up of really stressing the importance of academics. And then the benefit that athletics brought as I grew up. And I got lucky and happened to work hard in both of them and have had some success.
All right, being left-handed is where it's at. We understand that. I'm a fellow lefty. Did you think that maybe some schools shied away from you because you were left-handed? I didn't realize it was such a unique thing for a thrower to be a southpaw.
I didn't get recruited very hard out of high school. I guess I never had too many coaches say much of it. Like Coach Eric had said earlier, there might have been something in the back of their head. It's certainly an unorthodox predicament to be in because everything's backwards and mirrored, and you as the athlete have to fill in that gap between what someone is going to explain to you right-handed and convert it left-handed. So there was certainly a learning curve, but other than that, I did not personally know about if there was anyone discriminating the left-handedness of track and field.
The one thing I think is interesting, you can mirror what someone else is doing. I mean, professional golfer, famous golfer Phil Mickelson, plays golf left-handed. He is not left-handed.
Yeah.
His father taught him how to play golf, had him stand on the opposite side of him and mirror his swing. And so he swung the club left-handed. I would think as far as the mirroring process would go, maybe that's something you can do as a thrower. Did that ever enter into your training regimen?
It probably did. As you know, as a lefty too, you just grow up automatically converting it in your head, so it's never been, different or abnormal. Just between high school and college, just whether I'm watching coach or getting help from my teammates, is just you just watch it and you just convert it. I guess I don't really have a better way of putting it.
And one thing people don't understand when you're a lefty as well, you always got to pick the outside when you're in a booth at a restaurant like Wings, right? You got to get on the outside, either that or you got elbows colliding during the meal, right?
Yes, absolutely. After 4 years of college track and the number of teammates I've had, they typically let me sit down first because no one wants a left-handed elbow in their face all dinner. All
right, give us a good Eric Krumpecker story.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we need a good one.
Wow, this is really putting me on the spot. Actually, this weekend was good.
Okay.
We had a good, first day, and so a lot of the times we get surprised, and he goes, hey, how about some Dairy Queen? and the entire van went nuts.
And your selection at DQ was?
A blizzard. Could you go anything less?
Okay, what kind of blizzard?
Cookie dough and brownie.
Cookie dough and brownie. All right, what do we know what Bloomquist got?
Something larger. He gets like extra large everything. He said cookie jar.
Cookie jar. All right. Okay, Ole Miss, what are you expecting this weekend?
Hopefully some dry weather and some good performances. We're looking to get into the latter half of our outdoor season here, so we're looking to see some gains in every throwing event, and for our teammates that are on the track side, hopefully some faster times as we slowly start transitioning towards our conference championships here next month.
Okay, now your hair's not bright red, but does it qualify as a ginger?
Yes.
Okay. All right, just double checking. Lefty and a ginger, man. Wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much for joining us. And what did you get over on the menu?
Grilled chicken wrap.
Grilled chicken wrap. All right, very healthy thing, and of course the Big Nasty. You can see the difference between the two menus for Bloomquist and Zagurski. We appreciate it. Thanks so much. Best of luck down in Oxford this weekend.
Thank you.
All right, Steven Zagurski. That is going to do it here from Wings, etc. I want to thank Mike Rennick and Dean Field, our engineers on site all year long. Thanks to Joe Hobbs, the owner and operator of Wings, etc., for hosting us. In the Coaches Show, we've got the Stephen A. Smith Show coming up next on ESPN Radio. Don't forget, Red Hawks softball has been postponed. Tomorrow it'll be a doubleheader Wednesday at UT Martin. Red Hawk baseball will play at 6 o'clock tomorrow, and that will be at St. Louis University. Stephen A. Smith coming up next. For a final time, we say so long, everybody, from Wings.